Thompson, you're gonna need a drink on this one.
Yeah. We'll have one because
by winning.
Yeah.
I win here and I win there. Now
because I got my hurricane. I'm getting a weird echo kind of thing happening.
Thompson.
What
I wanna buy you a drink.
Are we auto-tuned right now?
We are auto-tuned. I'm gonna tell you how we
buy you a drink.
Awkward if you sing it to your friends.
So we're talking about T-Pain today? Oh, what do you got over there? What is it? I was wondering what that cloth was there for. I was like, why is there a hoodie sitting on top of the thing?
We are.
What is this?
Talking about the greatest, most innovative.
Yo, I can't believe when I said it'd be cool if we could get our first auto-tune, and he fucking came through. Yo, respect.
You need the auto-tune to talk about Tallahassee pain.
Do you know how to work it?
I'm a professional, bro.
Yo, I was like, I'm getting a weird echo. I don't know what that is.
You don't remember when I used to be like,
oh yeah.
When I used to hit the stage back in the day, when I used to rock the band, I used to use his foot pedal.
Yo.
And it has auto-tune on it.
Yo.
You can take it off.
Is it off?
You sound more. It's there. It's slightly.
Something. It's a little different.
But now we're like a little louder.
Ayo, why don't you come around me and put your hands on me while I eat my pizza?
I mean, man, auto-tune. I remember I used to low-key hate on auto-tunes when it first came out. But it's like, it's part of the world. It's ingrained. Like, it's better to sound auto-tuney than not.
That new song with J. Cole and Young Thug, the London song.
Yeah.
He's auto-tuned heavy in that one.
Yeah.
And it's fire. Not necessarily because it's auto-tuned. It's the verse is really good or whatever, but it sounds fine.
Nah, it's not, you think that the reason you use auto-tune, right, it's supposed to be to make you sound better, to make you sound more pronounced. But the truth is,
it's like to smooth out the cracks if you use it a little bit, right?
Right. Well, that's initially why it was invented, to correct your tone
pitch
and make you sound better. But because we're in the future and we have innovative people like T-Pain, remember, like
Tallahassee,
an inventor,
Teddy Pender ass down.
He's an inventor, and it's because he didn't want to continue to sound like regular T-Pain or a regular voice. He wanted to create something new. And I mean,
innovate.
People have used
demonstrate
vocalizers, right, in the past.
Yeah.
Remember California Love.
Yeah,
remember that?
What's his name?
I don't remember his name.
No, not that. No, I don't got
Roger Troutman. Remember? Do you believe in love after love? So
I can feel it down inside myself.
I really can't.
She should be here singing. That's a girl, ain't it?
Yeah.
Right.
But, this auto-tune correction was invented by this. Originally, it was invented to survey oil.
Say what?
Yeah. So
hold on. Say what?
So this was created to basically they would install this over sonar equipment and go over certain places in Texas and wherever they were looking for oil. And if the oil, basically they would ping it and they would come back at a certain tone, and that would tell them, hey, there's more oil in that area, or this is a better place to prospect. Okay. Somewhere along the line, it ended up in the studio.
What do you mean?
Through experimentation, I guess an engineer heard about this auto-tune correcting thing. It's like, oh, we can use this on singers.
He maybe worked there. Maybe it was a hobby.
Yeah, I didn't get that deep in the research because we're talking about Tallahassee Pain.
Not necessarily the
but vocoder. That was the originator of the whole vocoder thing, and then they would use it across the spectrum of the music of history. But it wasn't until T-Pain that I feel like he has really, like, we remember I always talk about Gucci Mane birthing a lot of these new rappers. I gotta say T-Pain is probably one of those originator. Would there be a Future? Would there be a Young Thug? Would there be a drowned out Wheezy? Like, would Lil Wayne sound like, I mean, arguably, if he didn't have a lot of codeine, maybe he wouldn't sound like that either. But the auto-tune has definitely added, like like I said, when I first heard I'm Sprung, remember I'm Sprung?
You got me doing. I don't know the rest of it.
But that, when I first heard it, I was like, what is he doing with his vocals? And being an audio engineer by trade and just being into music and music production, I thought it was so garbage. But then it took over. It has taken over. If like you don't have auto tunes now.
And a lot of people do it minimally, like just as a little like Botox, like a little touch up.
Like Chris Brown.
Chris Brown is a good example, but he also kind of like oversaturates it sometimes too.
Yeah.
Trey Songz
too.
He does it kind of like minimal. He just like kind of like throws it in there a little bit. He doesn't go heavy with it. Yeah. So it's I'm sure Britney Spears has benefited once or twice from a little vocal manipulation. You know what I mean? But then there's people like a Grande, like an Ariana Grande, who can just flat out blow. You know what I mean?
Like
and she can just play with it. She could just have fun with it, which is cool too. She doesn't need it as necessarily like a crutch or anything. Neither did Tallahassee. He can sing his ass off.
Well, a lot of people didn't think he could sing for a long time
because I remember there was some video out there where he's like, how it'd be at like a live show. The sound isn't always the best, and it wasn't. It kind of sounded like he couldn't sing. But if you did the NPR, the Tiny Desk concert, I know that was later on, but he really kind of like he did it before that. He showed that he could sing before that.
Yeah, but that was a staple. It went viral.
That was the first internet thing I could think of that was like, damn, well, he can really fucking sing though.
I'm not a big reality TV watcher, but occasionally, me and Ashley will stumble onto a pretty cool show, and I was really surprised to see him win the Masked Singer. When he won that?
Yeah. I didn't watch that. I heard, again, it was an internet thing. I just saw he won this thing and nobody knew it was him or something like that. That's how he wins?
Yeah, well, they do several performances dressed up as a character, so he was the monster. And back to back, all his performances were incredible. And people were like, who is this guy? Who is this guy? Who is this guy? And then I think a lot of people, more than not, were surprised.
Yeah.
There's always some people that have the ear. They're like, oh, shit, that's T-Pain. But since we know his character trait being associated with auto-tunes, a lot of people don't know his original voice. So I think that was like the Spade, the Joker.
Got the body of a goddess. I'm in love with a stripper.
I tried to auto-tune Kimberly, but she wasn't having it. But she still thinks she sounds
Isn't
good.
she already auto-tuned?
Oh you la la la. How do I sound, gentlemen? I think
singing.
I'm the first algorithm on auto-tune. I might have to give up this podcast and start my rapper-singer employment. Faheem Rasheed Najm, born September 30th, 1985, better known by his stage name T-Pain, is an American rapper, singer, songwriter, and record producer. His debut album, Rappa Ternt Sanga, was released in 2005. In 2007, T-Pain released his second album Epiphany, which reached #1 on the US Billboard 200 chart. His third album, Thr33 Ringz, was released in 2008. T-Pain has also...
I've been looking at that pepperoni, though. My bad for interrupting T-Pain's intro. Is that real pepperoni?
No, it's vegan, bro. It's all plant-based. Hit the you'll have something to say about it, but at least you'll know how it tastes. Here, get the one under that. It's a little hot. Oh,
shirt.
Man down.
It's interesting. It disintegrated in my mouth. It's like an auto-tuned pepperoni.
Feel free, bro. The crust isn't the best because it's gluten-free. I don't usually get gluten-free. It's kind of like, it's not really crusty that well. Anyway, go ahead.
So released a string of hit singles, including I'm Sprung, I'm in Love, With a Stripper, Buy You a Drink, Shawty Snappin, Bartender,
Buy You a Drink,
5 O'Clock and more. T-Pain has earned 2 Grammy Awards, alongside artists Kanye West and Jamie Foxx respectively. T-Pain is the founder of the record label imprint Nappy Boy Entertainment, established in 2005. Throughout his career as a singer, T-Pain is best known for using and popularizing the creative use of the auto-tune pitch correction effect, used with extreme parameter settings to create distinctive vocal sounds. From 2006 to 2010, T-Pain was featured on more than 50 chart-topping singles. His most successful feature to date was on Flo Rida's debut single Low, which has since been certified 6x platinum by the Recording Industry Association of America, RIAA. Early life. T-Pain was born and raised in Tallahassee, Florida. His stage name is short for Tallahassee Pain, and was chosen because of the hardships he experienced while living there. Najm was brought up in a Muslim household, but he has expressed his lack of interest in the concept of religion. At just 3 years old, he got his first taste of the music business when a friend of the family, gospel jazz artist / producer Ben Tankard, allowed him to spend time and twist the knobs at his recording studio. At age 10, Najm turned his bedroom into a music studio, using a keyboard, a beat machine and a 4-track recorder. Musical style.
10 years old.
He has called his style of music hard and B. T-Pain uses auto-tune, a pitch-correcting audio processor, for his vocals. Music critic Andy Kellman compared T-Pain's singing style to that of Cher in her 1998 hit Believe, in which Cher used voice enhancements. In response to Jay-Z's single DOA, Death of Auto-Tune, T-Pain stated that he would still use the method. T-Pain's use of auto-tune has been cited as an influence on other urban artists' works, including Snoop Dogg's single Sexual Eruption, Lil Wayne's single Lollipop, and Kanye West's album 808 and Heartbreak. In November 2008, T-Pain demanded credit from other artists who used auto-tune. T-Pain also uses the software GarageBand and Logic Pro to produce his own beats.
He was one of the first to really start using that. I think I remember him and Erica
the Hurricane.
Livingston.
It's my leftover hurricane wine. So I'm gonna...
Red roses.
What were you saying? Sorry. I wanted to just touch on the fact I'm drinking out of this huge wine.
No, just the fact that everything gets inspired by different things. Just you would think that like when did you Cher drop that song, like in the 90s, and then like 10 years later this guy's creating his whole entire blueprint behind it.
Yeah.
And
I mean, obviously Cher's a legend. So there's that, right? So it's good to be kind
of... not a lot of people blow from Tallahassee. You know what I mean? It's like not...
I'm sure there's a couple, but not many.
Yeah, I think Ray Charles was from like Tampa, and then he came up through Tallahassee, and you know,
at least that I know of. I'm saying that without actually doing any research, but you've obviously did.
You remember the Nappy Roots?
Of course.
There was a he used to call himself Nappy Boy. And I remember,
on the ride.
And I want to say I seen him open up for Nappy Roots when they were coming out, and he had this song called "It's a Robbery Now, Get on the Floor," and they were called the Nappy Boys, and that was his first, and it was a remake of "My Neck, My Back."
Okay, so Nappy Boys, not Nappy Roots.
Kaya song, I forgot her name.
Nappy Boys, not Nappy Roots.
Well, I'm associating them because I seen T-Pain before he was T-Pain
with
the opening up for the Nappy Roots, and he was singing that song because it had blown up in Florida as like an underground.
You saw it personally, like you were there?
I was at the show.
Cool.
And they were called the Nappy Boys, but he was the front of it.
Nappy Boys.
And he basically was remaking that "My Neck, My Back" song, and it became like a Florida underground hit. So he just toured off that remake. Man, early 2000s.
Right.
Maybe even like
99, 98.
Yeah. And then a few years later, he dropped "I'm Sprung, Got Me." And that's when it started taking off.
Yeah, I remember
started
that.
hearing all over the radio.
I remember that.
And people thought he was from Atlanta. Like, where's this guy from?
You know what? I didn't like that song at all. I remember not liking that song.
Me either.
Whatsoever.
I was
being kind of annoyed by it.
Yeah.
I appreciated, like, I guess, the lyrics of it, because I could appreciate, whatever being sprung, but it was annoying. I didn't like the song.
It sounded like thrown together.
It did sound poppy. It sounded like manufactured or whatever.
Yeah, and not to mention, we were coming straight out the 90s when you had the Lauryn Hills and the Mary J. Blige's and
exactly.
What is it? Cupid 112, right?
112,
Jodeci.
Yeah. Bad Boy era shit.
Man, what was the other Jodeci group?
Jodeci group?
There was a group of 4 dudes. not New Edition, but there was a New Edition.
There was a bunch of them, man.
But there was
Prophet Jones.
But we came out of an era of like super singers,
Silk.
Yeah, but to hear people like or a person like T-Pain come out, I think that's what threw us all off. So when you heard Sprung, you're like, what is this? And we're dealing with like that whole like poppy kind of Britney Spears in sync.
It was just new,
vibe
man.
at the time.
It was just something new, and you know, like most that are conditioned to hear something a certain way, you hear something a different way, and you immediately, some people, me included at the time, what's that? I don't like that. It makes my ear. I don't like that. But then I would have to say I'm in love with a stripper changed my mind 1,000 times over for some reason. I don't know if it was because of the party I was at. No strippers. I'm just saying I was at this party and that shit came on. I was like, what's that? Oh man, I was like, yeah. And then next thing you know, the remix. Remember, I had the remix.
Yeah, I think right around that song's popularity is when stripper culture. Because before that, it was like bottle service at the club, Jay-Z, champagne.
Yeah.
And then after that, it was like, we're in Magic City in Atlanta.
It's regular.
And it's about twerking. And I think that whole early 2000s up to maybe 2009, 2010, strippers were the shit. Yeah. I want to say it's because of T-Pain. He really like vitalized.
Strippers are still the shit.
He's a stripper propagandist. Like this guy really reinvented.
Promoter.
The stripper allure, like it's cool to be a stripper now.
For sure. I don't say cool. It's still kind of taboo.
Like porn?
Yeah, it's still kind of taboo. I mean, it just is.
Yeah.
Again, I don't want any of my daughters to be strippers. If they dancers, however you want to, say it. I'm not trying to ruffle any feathers, but exotic dancers, But if it so happens, I can't shame her or like make her feel bad about it. I'm just saying I don't want to see that shit. Obviously, I don't want to see that shit. I wouldn't want to see that happening to them or whatever. Yeah. So to me, it's still taboo. But I think again, it's more accepted. Yeah. And even like, go ahead, girl. You brave for doing that. You know what I mean? Like I couldn't do that. You brave.
I mean, in Orlando, you're technically not a stripper because they make you wear pasties.
Right.
You know what I mean?
But again,
Tampa and the vagina's out.
Again, that's why not. Many people come to Orlando to go to, it just isn't a thing. I've been to all of them, and, it's a good time. It can be a good time. It could also be just not at all a good time. Sometimes it can be a sad time.
It's nothing like the Atlanta culture of strip
Not at all.
clubs, though.
Not at all.
It's world renowned.
And I've never even been there. I've just seen videos.
I've been there, bro, and I was blown away. And it's just not even like a sexual thing. Like, obviously, the girls are beautiful. Talent. Yeah, and it's just a vibe. Like the money is like a foot, like you're walking in money of water. Like the money is like a little puddle of water because it's everywhere. And on the stage, it's even higher.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I wonder how much money T-Pain has spent at the strip club.
He said it in an interview before. Him and his wife. I don't think him and his wife were together in the interview, but I think he said something like a dumb $8 million, $10 million mark or some shit. Like I don't know. I don't know where I'm pulling that number from, but it was a high number. It was a high number.
Wow, man. Yeah, this guy not only invented like this whole wave or just modernized it and popularized it, but okay, great. You have this new way of doing it that makes you unique. We got your attention. Now, what are you going to do with that time? I'm going to make the most hits ever. Hits on hits. He's
just what? Oh, another one and another one. Another one. Khaled talking another's. He's on a bunch of Khaled songs.
Before Future, he was the original Khaled hook singer.
No, he had it, and
he
was
just
the
original.
Man, him on the projects with like Young Jock. Or he just be on these random songs. Is Lil Wayne?
Everyone. He did it with everybody. The song. Not only is he creating the music, but he's writing it and producing it. I mean, you really got to take your hat off to this guy.
A little dance culture too.
Yeah,
like a little bit of a dance culture.
He brought like arguably before Pharrell was wearing that weirdo hat.
Oh yeah, I don't remember the hat. He had a crazy. Oh yeah, with the
buffalo hat.
with the song with Lil Wayne.
Before that though,
had the fucking
who had the
step
top hats popping?
Top hats, right?
The top hats were in because of T-Pain.
Yeah, it was crazy. Like, cause he was the it was a circus vibe.
Yeah.
He was like the
elephant.
What do you call the circus guy in the middle?
The ringmaster.
The ringmaster.
Yeah, ringmaster.
Yeah, man. I forgot about the hats though. I know he had the crazy grills and he had those nuts sunglasses. I remember he had like a deal with Oakley or something like that. Didn't he have the thing with the phone? I just remember he had crazy sunglasses too, and I think he had a deal with somebody, which is, man.
This guy's such an innovator.
And he also blew a lot of that money that he got.
But he made it all back. He's one of the only artists to make about $50,000 in radio publishing. And what I mean by that is every time your radio song gets played on the radio, right, it gets registered and you get a few cents. You might get 15 cents, 10 cents. He made $50,000 off those 10 cents, 5 cents. He's one of the only artists to do it.
Wow.
To get to that because he had so many hits and catalog.
50,000, that's all?
Yeah, people only really get like not like an overall publishing check, just a check cut from radio by itself.
Oh,
every time your song gets played on
like
radio,
a dividend almost.
You get like maybe 5, 10, 15 cents depending on what your royalty split is, right?
That month or whatever.
So even the biggest artist in the world will get like a $10,000, $5,000 check for that year. He made $50,000 off of 10 cents, 5 cents, 15
off
cents.
Of fucking Shawty Snappin.
And that's not even to mention
Shawty.
his net worth. I was listening to.
Sorry, man, I'm having a great time.
Oh, that's what it's there for. And if you want to go higher, We got it. We got it. It's ready to go. For Tallahassee Pain. I don't know how anybody in Florida can hate on this guy.
Cosmo.
Okay. We're going to find out about how being an innovator also makes you an enemy or a competition. You know what I mean? I mean, remember Jay-Z going at this guy with the Death Auto-Tune?
That shit was hard. I love that song.
So I'm gonna play this little World Star hip hop documentary clip.
Right. Yeah, I remember he cut his hair.
Faheem Rasheed Najm,
And then he kept his hair.
or as he is better known,
put it back on.
T-Pain,
That's true.
is a 2-time Grammy Award-winning singer, songwriter, producer, and actor. His stage name derives from his hometown of Tallahassee, Florida, where he faced many hardships, pushing him to find an escape in what will become his career, music.
You know, my parents separated right in front of me, and I saw my dad, like, taking his clothes out of his closet, and I understood what was going on. You know, a lot of people, you know, their father or their mother left when they were young, and they didn't really understand what was going on, so they already have a preconceived notion of what that meant and whose fault it was and stuff like that. But at the same time, I had that understanding of what was going on, and that hurt me more than anything could. But it wasn't your normal struggle. It wasn't I came from the hood and I had to do this and I had to do this. I mean, yeah, I slept in the car and I ate straight mayonnaise out of a jar. But
Hold on a second, bro. That is some resiliency. I'm gonna eat mayonnaise out of a jar with no bread, no nothing, just mayonnaise. Just mayonnaise. For breakfast, lunch, or dinner. Shout out to you. That's really Tallahassee Pain.
That's hard.
That's
I feel more sad about that than a lot of stuff I feel sad about. And I saw a woman laughing at herself on the corner the other night. I felt bad about that. But honestly, straight mayonnaise out of a jar.
Mayonnaise.
Oh no.
it wasn't a struggle. It was more of a sacrifice.
Through his younger years, he would develop his own style of music that he would dub hard and B, and introduce the use of auto-tune in mainstream music. While auto-tune is generally used to correct the pitch of a singer's voice, T-Pain made use of this technology to give his voice a unique edge. One of the biggest misconceptions is that he uses auto-tune to sound good. While many artists today fall short in the talent department, this is not the case for T-Pain.
Baby girl, what's your name? Let me talk to you. Let me buy you a drink.
I can't play too much of that because we're going to get copyright strike, but that was him singing without no auto-tunes, without none of this, none of that. He was just doing that by himself. And that's what we're dealing with here. I mean, right now he's living, and sometimes, you know, like the saying, like when Nipsey died, it's hard to give somebody like that their flowers, and arguably, oh my God, he's a greatest artist now. Unfortunately, because he passed away, we really see his legacy. But this is the type of guy that we need to respect and honor now.
For sure.
Because of the innovativeness. And I think especially a lot of people say he fell off. What do you think about that?
Well, there's, by my view, there's a misconception about like falling off. What you're saying is he doesn't have a song on the radio right now. It's not on every day.
He does, but it's not like
no, I just mean when they say he was falling off.
Right.
When you say he fell off or whatever. Because he hadn't had a song on the radio for a while. It was just they're on, you know, you still hear the songs that he's made, but just here's the new T-Pain hit that's running every Taylor Swift minute. You know what I mean? So then people say, oh, he fell off, or because his visibility isn't just as high.
That's what it is, because he was producing songs and they were getting out and stuff, but they weren't promoted. And maybe that's the record label that's not pushing it because they feel like, oh, he's on his last album.
Yeah, but when I ride to work and I listen to whatever the 95 beat or the 107 jams or the whatever that is in that city, you generally don't hear, unless you're in the Tallahassee area or in one of those areas, like a T-Pain song, you know what I mean? A new T-Pain. Like, again, when I say in a Taylor Swift minute, when it's just like, damn, that's just, damn, again and again and again, you know, a Rihanna song. Like, some would say, and obviously they'd be completely wrong, but some motherfuckers would say Rihanna has fallen off. Because she hasn't, I haven't heard work. I hadn't heard work in a minute, or new work or whatever, but motherfucker, she's doing all kinds of crazy shit and probably producing songs or writing something, whatever, doing something else. Just because you don't see it doesn't mean it isn't happening. So that's crazy to me for somebody to say somebody at that level, at his level, a legend or whatever, for people to say somebody like that can fall off. That doesn't make any sense. You know what I mean? R. Kelly fell off. That guy fell off.
He fell off like a young ass.
He fell the fuck off. That fell off. That's a fall off, you know. But
he should die like Michael Jackson.
But but I'm trying to think of somebody else who is like amazing, even like Missy, right?
She's back
again. She's never left. Yeah. She's been writing for Monica and blah 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 blah. Like had all kinds of songs.
She's been writing. She was with Tweak before she tweeted. So now she's next, because you see her come out with an album, like, and it's a big thing on Spotify, and she does the circuit, you know, she does the Angie Martinez, and she does all of those things. And she's
now
a lot skinnier now.
Yeah, she got real sick. She had
lupus, I think.
Lupus. Yeah, she couldn't even anyway, so she's eating better.
Yeah.
Drinking no sugar, no carbs, I think, and then just water.
Yeah.
For like the drinking no sodas and stuff like that, from what I understand.
Too much auto-tune in her life.
How can you say Missy fell off? Right. You know what I mean? How can you even fix your face to say some stupid shit like that? They're at a level where you're just, you don't fall off. You just sort of do what you want to fucking do.
You think that whole
did Justin Timberlake fall off?
Yes.
Yes, he did, because that Walk in the Woods was terrible. That's facts. Yeah. But other than that, you know, you can't say that he's not like Justin Timberlake anymore, just because
he kind of killed it a little bit.
Again, maybe the wrong example,
wrong example. But as far as T-Pain, arguably in music, he was still being consistent. But I think that the record label, and I was about to ask this question, who even created that mentality of falling off? You know what I mean? Was it the companies to try to build, anticipation for artists, and that keeps them driving because there's a machine behind the artist, and that's the record label, and they have to build a certain structure? Or was it just people? Because I remember even before 50 Cent, we wouldn't really talk about record sales like that. And then 50 came on and he used it as leverage to basically show that he's a better artist. Like, this is the bar. If I sell this much records, I must have more fans than you. Therefore, I'm a better artist. But if you got... and we've seen the treachery that record labels have with, even purchasing albums just to get the buzz out there. Like, oh, this guy sold 250,000 records. Well, because you guys bought 100,000 records as a marketing ploy. Genius idea, but now that we have business to match art.
Yeah, how is the art?
Who invented the mindset of falling off? Was it the people and the fans? Or was it these corporations to build anticipation for the artists, to get the artists like, hey, you're falling off, you got to produce another hit record? No, I just did 40 hit records. I spent $8 million at the strip club.
I hate to always say
and
this.
I got a check coming still.
I hate to always say this, but it's got to be both, right? It's the consumer who's perpetually unsatisfied. You know what I mean? Because now we're in a fucking like, people are putting out 2 albums a year when motherfuckers didn't put albums out like that.
Yeah.
People putting out like the Migos and their whole quality control. Like, how much music do you have?
They are an assembly plant.
And again, it sounds the same. Like, a lot of it is just like,
yeah.
You know, you listen to it and it's, there's things in there to catch and be like, yo, they have a lot of talent or whatever. But then at the end of the day, it's a Chris Brown album with like fucking 80 tracks on it. And you're just like, it's the same song over and over again.
And it's over in a month and a half.
And
you know?
yeah, it's one of those like, you're buying followers almost on your social media where it's kind of empty, you know, because you're just throwing a bunch of like, you're just doing it and it's kind of working, but it's diluted. And then from the other end, the corporation is just like pushing it because it's a corporate entity that just says, go, just work, just do it. You need to go faster. But I think because like watching that other show, what you call it with Nadeska and whatever, that other show.
Everyday Struggle.
Yeah. They're watching the other show. You know, you can't help but see that in those 3 people when they kind of say the things they say about like being on the clock or something like that. They're literally saying that you don't have a hit and you need to come up with one. It's like, what the fuck is that? I'm just the artist, you know?
Yeah.
I'm not an artist, obviously, but like,
it's got to be crippling.
And they're popular,
right?
So they're putting in the minds of 12 and 11-year-olds that that's the way you need to be. So now that's corporate America coming to fucking, whether they know it or not, they may feel like they're underground. I know what's his name feels like he's underground and for the people, but sorry, bro. Once you start doing little interviews with Xboxes and stuff like that with talent, then
you got 1 million and plus subscribers that are
maybe not just the subscribers. Subscribers is one thing. You could still be like uncorporate if it's just you literally, and you got a bunch of people looking at you.
But there's influence there.
But once you start, then sorry, I respectfully, sorry, you're influencing a lot of kids with that on the clock shit, and it's kind of bullshit. I mean, I'm not an artist, but I feel like it's bullshit.
Hell yeah, it's bullshit. I mean, even the age
you're
thing
just
in
perpetuating
hip-hop,
that fucking like that T-Pain's not popular.
Yeah,
like you're or not good
but
or something.
It goes hand in hand with the whole thing about being old too, right? When you're a certain age, you're like, you can't produce better music. But there's like, you know. Yeah, even Jay-Z's last album.
Jesus Christ.
You know what I mean?
He's like elevating his whole shit. It ain't
People
old Jay-Z,
like
but it's like awesome what he's doing, and he's trying to like spit game that he feels like he has. Whether he's right or wrong, and that's a whole nother thing. But like,
did you see that Black Thought freestyle on Flex?
Yeah, the one that lasted for like 5 days.
It was incredible.
And it was incredible. It wasn't just like, and I go to fucking your bitch.
Like wine.
Yeah. Yeah,
it
Black
takes
Thought is
years. I mean, even hip hop in itself is like 40 years old now. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
and close 30, maybe 30 or 72,
something like that. Yeah.
The point I'm making is that it goes hand in hand with the fell off shit. It makes artists think that they have an expiration date.
Yeah,
and you don't. It always revolves around urban music too, because look at the Rolling Stones. These motherfuckers are skeletons on stage.
Yeah,
they're not producing hits anymore, right? Are they?
Not that I know of. Again, did they fall off? Is that falling off? Can you say the Rolling Stones fell off?
Because little Tommy doesn't really understand what Rolling Stone is.
I'm like, nah, of course they didn't fall off. I don't think, unless their playing is subpar now, live. You know, if somebody were telling me that, then I'd understand that they fell off. Like if Buddy isn't hitting his chicken walk the way what he does.
I don't think he does that.
The Mick Jagger
That's
walk?
Called the chicken walk?
I don't know. He's doing this shit. He's like, wow, I don't know any songs or whatever. Anyway, do you say he fell off because we ain't heard him on the radio, or he's not visible like that unless he's doing Rock'em?
Yeah, I don't know.
New Year's?
I don't know.
Think so. I think people are like Stevie Wonder's going to be Stevie fucking Wonder, and even his new songs, I'm sure he's coming out with new stuff. are probably very
How'd
good.
you feel about Elton John and Young Thug on a song?
The Rocket Man shit, I gotta be honest, me and Young Thug are at a song we're on a song by song basis.
Yeah.
So it was all right.
It's like too experimental for me sometimes.
Even the song with him and J. Cole right now, I kind of turn it off when he gets to not really turn it off, but maybe I turn off my brain or think about the next song that I'm just because maybe not for me as much that it used to be. I love Stoner. I love the one before that with Pee Wee the Long Way.
Yeah, loaded.
It better keep down. That shit was hard. He's got a bunch in there that I really like from Young Thug. But again, nowadays I feel like we're
and
just
that one with T.I. went hard too.
Yep. That was like one of the first kind of like regular hits he had, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But there was another one that I really liked, man. He had like a I can't think of. He had that one with Nicki Minaj. That's the one I like. That was fucking good.
It's crazy to think where
also
hip-hop would
auto-tune the fuck out.
That's what I'm saying. Where would hip-hop be without T-Pain?
You know what I mean?
All those people
auto-tune the fuck out.
None of those people would.
I'm a stoner.
All right, some more of
T-Pain.
Start. Yeah. All right.
Successfully releasing 4 studio albums, with 3 reaching gold selling status, generating hundreds of millions of views to his classic music videos. Pain is not only the star of his videos, but also one of the key components in his post-production. T-Pain is now getting ready for his 5th studio release. On April 1st, 2013, T-Pain officially announced the shearing of his signature dreadlocks and began his rebirth. His upcoming release will bear the name Stoicville, the Phoenix. Pain stating that the name meant new beginnings, a new era, a new life, rising from the ashes.
I was going up the stairs, and my uncle, who passed away long ago, years and years ago, he was coming down the stairs. And, of course, I was in amazement, like, what are you doing here? How are you here at this party? I'm just here for an event. Like, why are you here? What are you doing? I thought you was dead. It's a dream. Everything makes sense in a dream. He said, I just came to tell you that everything's going to be all right. And you need to just calm down and just be you. Just be the Faheem I know. And just be cool, man. Everything's going to be okay. All you got to do is just make it through this point in your life and everything be cool. But the first thing that you really, really, really need to do is reinvent yourself. You may need to cut off your hair. And you need to get rid of the thing you love the most, which is your hair, besides your kids. And you just need to let people know that you can make a change. And sometimes change is not going to be good for everybody around you. So when you see that happening, you need to get rid of some people around you. You will know the people when it's time. And I woke up crying. My wife was like, "What were you dreaming about?" Because you was just crying in your sleep. I don't know what was happening. It was just, I woke up like, I'm going to go do this today.
The music world is saturated.
So he saved them. He saved them somewhere. Then he said he was looking for, he was talking about finding like $1 million chain.
I think that's where he fell off when he shaved his head. I don't think people can recognize him anymore.
Listen to what I'm saying. He was telling a story about finding like a $1 million chain or $100,000 chain, but also in that same moment, he found his locks that he had cut off. So he put them back on. He had them sewn back on in his head. He currently has dreadlocks, the same dreadlocks that he had cut off initially.
That was a dream, though.
No, he really cut his hair off.
Right.
But he found later on, like currently, he found his hair in a bag somewhere and got them sewn back in. So he now has his dreadlocks on now, currently.
Because I think he realized he lost his power. Remember when Busta Rhymes shaved his head in that video with Janet Jackson?
Did he? I may be making this up, but that same interview, he might have said something similar to that. Like he needed his like Samson hair back. How Samson cut off his hair and he got his ass whooped or whatever. I may be making that up though, but it sounds. You said a Buster?
The juice. You cut the hair, you lost the juice.
But did he cut his hair in that video?
Yeah.
Because it's weird. I would see him, but again, this was more of a time when it was like I couldn't really internet current Buster. Like, I couldn't pull up my phone and be like, how's Buster Rhymes look right now?
Well, he doesn't have dreads no more.
No, I know. I mean, when they did it for that video, I thought it was more of a Hype Williams special effect and not really happening.
Nah, that was real. There's no CGI in that shit. He cut the juice. I mean, I get artists wanting to recreate themselves and be inspired by new things. I think that's what killed his juice, though.
Who's juice?
People
Busta?
were used. Imagine Bob Marley cutting his dreads.
Now, what happened with Busta that wasn't?
I'm talking about Busta, T-Pain, all these guys. I'm giving Busta just relevance to like somebody that was really dope with dreads, and then he cut his dreads, and I think he kind of fell off because of that. I think the same thing happened with T-Pain.
I disagree. I don't think Busta Rhymes fell off after he cut his hair. He made
disagree.
fucking. I think he
still had his dreadlocks.
That was the video when he cut off his hair.
No, it was Janet Jackson.
Stop all that. Hold on, I'm gonna look that up real quick. Let me see. I think he had his hair on that, and he had several songs since then. Didn't he have some fucking like?
Regardless, it's
Busta
just
Rhymes.
what I'm saying. Forget Busta Rhymes. Just saying. I think T-Pain lost his swag.
T-Pain did not lose any swag, my friend, ever. He's consistent. That's what I'm saying. Just because you didn't see it, bro.
No, I get that, but I'm just saying in the grand scheme of thing, I think popular culture was like, "Who's this guy? Is that T-Pain?"
Okay, you be talking about like Becky's mom while she's making her PB&J. She's like, "Remember that song about the bartender? I used to love that. Whatever happened to him? Who's right there? No, he had long hair.
Yeah, he's had
the long hairs.
I'm confused. Then you get Mandela effect.
Created with artists who follow the same trends, trying to catch and ride a wave as long as they can, but Payne isn't looking to stay in the same current for long. With his new image and new approach to music, T-Pain looks to spread his love and passion for music to all of those who have an open ear, even if it means spending everything he has made to bring the most visually impressive performance to fans worldwide.
American Freight
Why'd they show such a long shot of those girls?
American Freight my ass. So, obviously we know T-Pain is the motherfucking OG. Mm-hmm. So this one talks about all his goddamn Billboard hits.
Yo, what's good, man? It's your homeboy T-Pain, and right now you're checking out Hip Hop DX. You heard me? You know, I set the record in 1 year, man. The Beatles had 13 number ones, you know, throughout the time that they was doing their things, and I had 14 just in 2008. So,
just in 2008?
2009, and
so did Drake just beat that?
And you know what I'm saying? And 2007, 6, or 5.
I don't know.
Because, you know, I had number one records in all them years. So this is just in 2008, I set the record for the most number ones. And I was the first person.
And he's from Florida, y'all.
He's from Tallahassee.
Radio fans. So it's different accolades and accomplishments like that that make me feel like there wasn't nothing wrong with what I was doing. You know, people can say, you know, somebody said to me, yo, if you change your style, if you change the way you dress and stuff like that, people would take you more serious and you would sell more albums and do all this. But I did the most shit when I dressed the stupidest. like who do you know that'll put on a 2-foot top hat?
He said a 2-foot top. It's really like, what it was too.
With a tail on it and really tell everybody I'm the shit. And you can't do nothing about that. And then drop 14 number ones in 1 year. And you people get mad and you
can't do nothing about that.
You know what I'm saying? And that's, you know, so once people can see that through your music and they can see that, hey, maybe this guy likes to have fun, we should check. And then you check, and then we do the I'm on the boat shit. I'm on a boat.
I'm on a boat.
With it, I'm not one of
Where are my flippy floppies?
Ah, man, that's just stupid, bro. They trying to make fun of rap music or something. Like they stepped to a few people that did that. People don't want it to be easy. You know what I'm saying? They feel like, you know, once people found out that auto-tune was a pitch correction software, they felt like, oh, so you just can't sing, so I can do that too. So fucking simple. Then.
You know what I mean? Like, it's not even that people are dumb. You're not stupid. You can do it. You can get through your life. You probably even have a hard job, but people think so goddamn simple. I went and bought this pizza. And I posted, I'm in a Central Florida vegans group. So I posted, yo, this BVL Walmart has this pizza for $7. Normally I spend $9 on this, and it's a smaller selection. First comment, that company has just been bought by a company that tests on animals. So now every time you buy that pizza, you're supporting animal testing. And I was like, I read that recently. But if the world were that simple, you wouldn't even be on Facebook right now. If that's the way the world work, where it's like I gave this person money and then this person gave this person money to kill animals.
Yeah, I took your $7. I'm stabbing this chicken.
Facebook, I don't even think Facebook would be a thing because it'd just be so crazy here that social media, it would be something completely different. So
Facebook also gives people the time.
And Facebook does
to have
all sorts of crazy shit. But I'm not a whatabouter. People are whatabouters as well as being simple, because just because I say Trump's an asshole and you say, yeah, but what about Clinton?
Yeah, but
or what about Obama? Nah, I don't. I'm just saying, Trump's an asshole and this pizza is cheaper. That's what I'm saying. And I'm eating this pizza. I decide what I want to do. You decide what you want to do. Okay? Simple ass motherfuckers.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Quit it. Anyway, same thing with this.
And fuck it, I'm paying $7, bitch.
Because he uses a tool. By the way, people's voices aren't this loud. They use a tool to amplify it. Are you cheating? You cheater, you should stand on stage and just yell at us. What? It's just, it's a tool that he's using. And everybody knows because it sounds different. That's all it is. It just sounds different. It doesn't, and there's clearly, he has talent clearly, and he fucking...
I think that's what it is they can't see, 14 number one hits. No. More than the Beatles? This guy uses
because he cheats. You guys are a bunch of simple assholes.
People envy.
Maybe people really love
they try to find the cheat code. He's got to have a cheat code. He's part of the Illuminati.
Yeah. Well, people are simple. Like I say.
Yeah, insecurity overcompensates for dumb people.
Correcting your pitch. It's not that you're actually good at anything. It's just that you got this thing making you perfect. Oh, okay. So yeah, you suck. You don't even deserve that because you can't sing, and that's what I'm saying. That's totally not true. It's just like all these other people are doing it. They're not getting the Beatles records and shit like that. There's a lot of other people using it that ain't getting any kind of awards or any kind of attention at all.
He's a good songwriter at the end of the day, too.
Easy. You can use auto-tune as much as you want to. You still have to write a dope song. Yeah. You still have to perform it well. You still have to
another thing. His performance shit is off the chain. He's got dance numbers. How many rappers, singers,
rap singers
you seen doing, aside from Lil Nas X, who's doing fucking
P. Diddy.
But he's after P. Diddy, so... Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Who's doing that now? Not many. Offset did it in the BET Awards. He was pretty good. And it was like a big thing. Remember? Did you even watch? Did you see that? He was doing the Clout song, and then he had like another song.
I know that he was in a Janet Jackson video when he was a little kid.
Offset, yeah. But yeah, he did like a whole, on the award show, the performance, he did a whole dance number. It was dope, and it got talked about, and it made him more popular, I think. But motherfuckers don't do that no more. I'm not saying everybody should either. That's not what I'm saying. Boy. Right? But again, that was probably the same time. Oh man, remember she wanna do that kiss. Him and Chris Brown. That was a fucking banger too.
There's so many. Shit? There's so many.
That loving, that kiss. Oh man. Anyway, sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah. Made pretty much all of them. So it's like it's not fair to say that I ain't put in work and auto-tune was just the only reason that I even got a career at all. People that know music, people that realize what it is, and people you got to realize the amount of the population that will never get to and can never go into a studio and find out how auto-tune really works. So right now, the only thing that they got to go off on is the opinion of a blogger or the opinion of one of the people they follow on Twitter, or you know what I'm saying. But at the same time, most people in this country or most people around the world right now would say Justin Bieber is fucking terrible, and they've never heard Justin Bieber's music. But so many people say that Justin Bieber is terrible, they automatically think Justin Bieber is terrible without giving them a chance in fucking hell. That's the same thing that's happening to me. Auto-tune has been portrayed as a sucky thing, and it's being used by talentless people. So when you say T-Pain's name, he's automatically associated with auto-tune. T-Pain sucks. It's like it's a no-brainer for a lot of people. You know what I'm saying? Like when
those people are dumb.
You know what I'm saying? A little while ago, and some people saying, "Oh my God, that'll be amazing, Pain. I listen to all your music. I fuck with you, and you collaborating with Chance the Rapper is dope." Everybody else, please, Chance, don't ever fuck with T-Pain. He has no talent. Oh my God, I'm gonna die if you work with him. I'll never follow you again, Chance. Don't ever. But they've never heard T-Pain's music. You know what I'm saying? So they just going off of the popular opinion. I was on my way to the studio and they said Michael Jackson want to meet you. I immediately turned around. Went, well, I don't give a fuck. That nigga want to meet me in a goddamn meat factory. I would have went there. So
it's a weird thing.
We went there and he said Bartender was the only physical CD
T-Pain, he want to meet me at the meat factory.
I think that'd be a no. To be honest with you. Michael Jackson at a meat factory.
Bro, I'm going. I don't care. It's Michael Jackson, bro. I don't care if I have to meet him in like a Japanese toilet.
I would
bathroom.
Like a house, like a bathhouse?
Well, they don't have toilets. They just have like shitholes. So you guys just stand over the shithole and talk.
Right. But I feel like I would get murdered or something if I go to a...
Yeah, but at least you get to meet Michael Jackson.
No.
You'd be all right.
Be a nah for me, dog.
If you knew it was like really coming from his people, it wasn't like a random email from your old MySpace account.
Why would I go to
a
meat factory, bro?
Because it's Michael Jackson. He likes meat. I'm going.
No, I can't.
If it's coming from a credible source, I'm going.
Doesn't matter. Why am I going to a meat factory?
Because that's where he's hanging out. Maybe he's got a studio. He's trying to get the right acoustics.
Somebody's trying to kill you.
Sound bouncing off of meat.
Somebody's trying to kill you.
Makes great acoustics.
Somebody's trying to kill you if you go to a meat factory.
Why?
Because it's a slaughterhouse. Why would you?
Maybe he's trying to get some wholesale meat for Neverland.
He's rich as shit.
It's a big facility.
He's rich as shit. He doesn't need to personally be at a goddamn meat factory.
That's very judgmental.
Why?
Maybe it's a kosher factory. He wants to make sure the rabbi is making the meat kosher.
That's not a thing.
Yeah, it is.
No, they're out at the fucking the fucking factory, blessing each thing that dies. No, that's not how that works.
You don't know.
Look, I do. I've seen video. I've literally seen video how it works.
I Googled it, so now I know.
No, I saw a documentary.
It's supposed to be kosher.
I saw a documentary.
Well, I feel disrespected because I'm like quarter Jewish now that I've kind of married into a Jewish family.
Hey, man, I may have seen the wrong documentary.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, bro. So, if Michael Jackson is strictly there to make sure his beef is kosher,
shit.
You don't want to meet Michael Jackson at the meat factory?
Yeah, I want to meet Michael Jackson, not at the meat factory.
I'm going.
Hey, I'm going to be at the mall. Hey, I'm going to be at Best Buy. Hey, I'm going to be at a church. Hey, I'm going to be at a pool. Hey, I'll be at some sort of Japanese bathhouse. Hey.
You would go to the bathhouse?
Before the meat factory, 1,000%. In my fucking banana goddamn swimming trunks.
I'm a little... the only reason I go to a bathhouse is probably going to be a whole bunch of naked dudes around me. And
I'm comfortable around naked men.
It's not that I'm not uncomfortable. It's just like kind of awkward to be there with Mike for the first time.
I'll be clothed.
For the first time.
If you want to have your dick out,
sweat your ass off.
I grew up in a time when I was playing basketball and I'd walk in and it'd be all sorts of
still awkward.
Not for me. Not anymore.
I don't. When I go to the gym, I hate when there's another naked man.
I can't say that I like it.
I don't like naked man in my vicinity.
It's not like, oh, this is awesome, but it's also like, this is fucking weird. Like, so uncomfortable. It's just like,
no, but it's still like.
So if Michael Jackson's going to be there getting his his spa on or some shit, then I'd go and say what's up to him, but not at a meat factory, bro, or a chicken place, or like
no poultry.
Well, maybe no morgues. It's just weird. Like, I don't want to be anywhere where death is happening because I feel like it's going to happen to me. Like, somehow I'm getting set up. Unless, like, hey.
What if you just work at a meat factory?
You're good
to
go.
I'll be invested and he owns a meat factory.
Sure. If I got a reason to be at a meat factory, sure. I'll go.
Yeah, the reason is you're meeting Michael Jackson.
No, that's not a good enough reason. If I work there, if I got business there, sure. And I'm, like, always there. But, like, that's some random ass.
You know where the exits are.
Shit. What? Why am I? Why is he there? Oh, he's here and he just wants to meet you here. That don't even sound right, bro. I'm not coming to that. Sorry.
I'm going.
Nah.
especially if he's alive again.
Hell no.
And that was just the most amazing shit. Then we ate plain tortilla chips without any kind of salsa or anything, and then I left.
Tortilla chips.
He didn't have salsa. They had to go to the sauce. You think he would have salsa though? He just got chips. He had chips out of nowhere. He didn't even ask for them. The dude just came in there. I'm talking about top notch. I'm talking about dude came in there, white glove, the shit over his head, and just had a bowl of tortilla chips. You got a waiter from a goddamn 6-star restaurant coming to give you damn tortilla chips, and didn't bring no sauce.
That's a good story. That's some eccentric shit. Yeah, I just want to. Oh no!
This is an older because I want to show like the different phases of T-Pain.
Anyways, we're getting a lot of questions. We got a lot of email questions and stuff. People wanted to know. I picked up a couple questions and stuff. When did you first start using the auto-tune?
Wow, I started using it in 2003.
And did you have any inclination? Did you plan
Not
on
at
using
all.
it through all your stuff?
Not at all. I didn't think I was going to, but it's kind of happened. It's making me money, so I ain't about to stop. It's been working so far.
And now everybody is doing it. What is the worst song that you've heard with the auto-tune on it?
I wouldn't say it's the worst song. I wouldn't say it's the worst song. I just say it's the song that somebody just didn't know how to use it. I think it was the Pop Champagne song.
Yeah, it's a different technique. How would you explain using that? Because you actually still have to.
Yeah, you actually got to sing.
People think they can actually just go on it.
Yeah, I mean, it ain't hard, man. But you gotta take your time, really.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You gotta know where you can go with it and where not to go with it. It's like. It's just like you gotta work it, man. It's just like anything else, any kind of other effect or any kind of thing that those real R&B artists use to fix their voice. You know what I'm saying? It's like
you really master it. You still gotta have tone and rhythm and sing.
Still gotta have all that, man. You gotta know what to do. You gotta actually study the history of it. You know what I'm saying?
And at first when you came out, I remember like people didn't take you serious. They thought it was just a gimmick and a one-hit wonder. And now it's like with every artist in the world doing it, like you've made it its own
weird, man.
genre.
It's funny to me because I don't get it because when Roger Troutman was doing it, when Teddy Riley was doing it, nobody else was doing it. That was their thing. If
people hated you.
Yeah, really. Like it's not even saying I was hated on. People really did not like me as a person just because I use auto-tune. I don't know.
Crazy.
It's weird now.
But now you got Jay-Z calling it. It's not even called auto-tune.
It's called T-Pain effect now.
That's crazy, man. Anyways, you got a song on your album. The video is hilarious for it. It kind of speaks on some of that. Since this is a new music show, we can kind of play this song karaoke.
Yeah.
Where you talk about it and go hard at some people. And also too, what was up with this? You had a little beef with there was some gospel. You mentioned some gospel singers.
That was the whole silver and gold and
with
the Kirk Franklin thing, and it was kind of like a lot of people said I wasn't doing nothing, and I was just basically saying at that point, like if I wasn't important, then why am I pissing off gospel singers?
Exactly.
That's the truth, man. This guy, like, overwhelmingly, what I started to find out when I was doing a lot of the research is that he has a lot of beef with people, and it's not even his fault. I think one of the first big ones was when Jay-Z made Death Auto-Tunes and straight went at him, basically saying that this is like cartoon rap or whatever. This is Jay-Z talking about it.
Here with Cypher Sounds and Rosenberg on Hot 97.
Yeah, you do have haters. And speaking of one of your haters, he was in Vegas this weekend hating on you. Let's do the flashing lights.
Oh no!
Flashbulbs, sirens, celebrities. The Flashing Lights Report with K. Foxx.
Hey for everybody.
Cypher Sounds and Rosenberg.
That's right, it's a special edition. We got Jay-Z in the building. Jay-Z, how are you?
Fantastic.
All right, so Cypher set it up already. Apparently, T-Pain was going off on you in a club, and Fab was there. Your boy was there. And he was talking about FJZ, he's old. I guess it has something to do with DOA, being that that's what T-Pain bases his career off of. So how do you respond to T-Pain saying all this stuff, going off at the mouth in the club in Vegas?
I hope he had a good time,
Saying all these things.
Yeah, but just hope he had a great time.
But speaking of haters, you actually addressed some of your haters on the track.
That's all he said.
DOA, Death of Auto Tune. When it dropped,
I was pissed off.
Mhm.
Yeah, I was
hilarious.
mad as hell. I mean, I didn't listen to the song either, so it was just like all I heard was auto
That's
tune.
just basically how Jay-Z operates, at least on the surface level.
He's only going to hit you on his music.
I'm
You
sure
gotta
he
wait
does
for
a
the
lot of
music.
stuff under and behind and face to face with important people as far as more than something like that. But I hope he had a good time. And just left it at that. I love it.
Death. That's all I heard. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, of course, that's, it's my technique. That's what I'm known for. So when I hear death of that, it's like, wow.
you're taking it as like Death of T-Pain.
Yeah,
almost.
you know what I'm saying?
So got on some jammies.
Ain't nobody really explained it to me because I found the song myself. It's not like somebody came to me like, oh, boy, Jay-Z, this and you, blah, blah, blah. I found it myself because I always go on iTunes on my phone and just check out, what's hot right now. So I actually, I saw the DOA part, but it was on my phone, so I couldn't see the parentheses on it. So I'm like, oh, Jay got a new joint. Let's check it out. And then I hear it, and it's good riddance and goodbye. And, I was like, okay, now. I mean, at first it was baffling, man. It was just like, man, what did I do? I didn't mean to do it. I'm sorry, Jay. Because I'm a real big fan of Jay's. And
he gave you no warning, no heads up.
No, of course not. Yeah. Then if he would have, I would have told somebody, and it would have just killed the whole impact of the song. So, I mean, it's it was bad at first, but then I started listening to the song. I understood what he was saying. It was like not talking about me. Actually, after I got it, I was like, oh, he's not talking about me. Then I actually called the radio station in New York and got on the radio and said, my bad. Okay, I get it now. And then I went in the studio right after that and made the successful remix, The More Careful, and did an apology track to it, sent that out to him. I figured it was me being a man. You know what I'm saying? Like just admitting when I'm wrong.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? It's like a lot of people feel like I was being soft or you shouldn't apologize to nobody, blah, blah, blah. But like I was the one that was wrong. He apparently wasn't talking about me. So if I go off on him and I'm at shows saying F him and he didn't even come at me like that, then I'm the one that's wrong. So I just made that track. I saw him at the Grammys. We passed it up there. And it was just like, whatever. Now, it's been done. It's old now.
I don't know. I think Jay-Z was definitely using it.
Yeah, of course he was. I mean, that's what it seems like to me, the consumer. And
he
PS
always does that.
That's kind of what matters, I guess, in this, is what the fan thinks, because the fan buys your music. Doesn't matter to you as an artist, probably, but if you want to be a successful artist, then that's what matters, is how I perceive it.
This is
Not
where
me,
where the fan shit gets a little crazy. That's perfect segue that you talk about it. I want to play this clip because this is showing like how successful you get and how on top, and how the little man's voice, like Jay-Z's obviously coming at you. Yeah, that's gonna affect me a little bit. It's one of my idols, the fucking hip hop president. This is the MJ of rap, right? Mm-hmm. But when you start to hear it from the people, and we're going to see, like, I just started thinking, like, yeah, remember we were talking about Sprung drop? It's like, that's kind of whack. Mm-hmm. And I would say I was a T-Pain hater at the beginning. I can honestly say that.
Yeah, I don't know if I was a hater, but I definitely
I was at the beginning, but then after Bartender and Stripper and all these songs, I'm like, damn. And I started seeing everybody else use his swag, like the way Kanye used 808 and Heartbreaks, like,
crazy.
Obviously, it was written by Cudi, but a lot of inspiration came from T-Pain as far as using the the auto tune. So you can't do nothing but start to respect dude at that point, But I will say there's something about his energy and people. So this is a clip about a fan hating on him, and it's really fucked up.
He was putting too much power into money is because a nigga told me today. A nigga told me that he don't respect me because I ain't did nothing for the city. And according to him, I got $30 million I could spend on the city right now. He don't know how much.
He's talking about Tallahassee.
Right, but he said, I got $30 million and somebody with $10 million just put a homeless shelter in my city for $3 million. Nigga, that shit don't work like that. That shit does not work like that. And I want people to be informed. I'm not I ain't, you know, I'm not paying attention to trolls and shit. And I get that. I just don't like when people are misinformed and then they get on the internet and think they know everything. That shit bothers the fuck out of me, especially when you're speaking on my situation. But then he carries on to say, I don't respect niggas like T-Pain because he ain't come do that, blah, blah, blah. He ain't do that, he ain't do this, he ain't do that. Meanwhile, I'm doing shit under the radar. I just don't want the publicity because if you start putting it out that you just giving niggas money, then everybody gonna start coming for it. So any charity thing I do or anything like that I do it under the radar. You know what I'm saying? Ain't no government involved. Look, what you need for that? Bam, here you go. I do that shit under the radar, bro. And you ain't gonna never know when I'm moving. I don't need to let you know that I'm doing charitable shit. I don't need you to know that. I just do charitable shit because people need shit, and that's what I do. But the nigga goes on to say that I let my brother die because of his hospital bills.
Damn.
My brother just died February 5th, bro. And this man just told me I let my brother die because of the hospital bill. After I paid $2.2 million to the hospital. And he told me that if I would have paid more money, then my brother would still be alive. Money don't fix everything, bro. You niggas is putting too much shit on money. You putting too much power into money. Why would you think that's possible? Nigga don't even know how my brother died. I paid $2.2 million. He got out the hospital, was living his life. He had just got back to walking. He had went through therapy. He went through physical therapy, was walking on his own, doing his own thing. He was walking on his walker in my mama's house. He slipped up, his leg gave out, and he hit his head on the fucking kitchen counter, and his brain started bleeding, and he went brain dead, and then he died. How can money fix that, my nigga? How can you even say that my brother would have still been alive if I would have just gave up more money? Why do you think money can fix something like that? That's the craziest thing in the world. That's why I went like, you know, on my tangent today. Like, why would you think that if I just give more money, oh, you rich, I don't know what you worried about. Nigga, if money can fix shit like that, all my family be alive. My grandmas, my great-grandma, nigga, everybody be alive. Nigga, what the fuck are you talking about? If I could just throw money at a health issue and it'd be fixed, nigga, everybody's alive. Hey, we
What
living
the
forever.
fuck are you talking about?
None of us gonna die.
It's so true, man. Like,
Yo,
on
people are
that
simple,
level,
man. People are simple as shit. You gotta always, and I've been guilty of it in the past, and I consciously try not to react to something I see right away. What? Wait. And I ask questions. You know, people get annoyed. Lady at work with me get annoyed because I ask questions because I don't understand what you're saying, and I want to get what you're asking correct.
And they think you're being difficult. Like, no, I'm literally trying to
I don't know what
understand.
you're saying. P.S. The motherfucker doesn't say much, like, to help. You know?
Yeah.
I think it's because they already say lady because she doesn't know what she's doing, but whatever.
People assume a lot of shit too, man.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Like, and I mean, that's what shows you how genuine he is. He didn't have to respond to that, but he was making a point. Like, you guys think this, but this is the reality.
Yeah. Probably got a little buzz too.
I think it comes from small town, like we were talking about earlier in the episode. Why don't a lot of people pop from Tallahassee? Shit, even Orlando. I had this struggle coming up in Orlando as a musician that people don't respect you unless you go outside and become successful. But even at that level, which I'm about to play now, sometimes the city just don't respect you. Sometimes your city is full of a whole bunch of envious, stupid people. They don't want to change shit. They're happy with the small town shit. And anytime you try to bring something different, I noticed that coming up and doing my thing, how a lot of the veteran musicians, and not everybody, but a lot of them, would be like so opposed to change or trying something different when, like, yo, that's not working. If it was working for you, then it'd be working for others, but it's not. Let's try something different, you know? People are afraid of change, and that's what this next clip's about. Is we know that the T in T-Pain stands for Tallahassee. This guy is repping this till he's, you know, the biggest thing in the world, and this is what Tallahassee. And I'm not saying everybody in Tallahassee. I'm sure he has some hardcore supporters in Tallahassee.
Sure, he has to.
But the he seems to think that the majority of them don't fuck with him, and I'll show you.
Think that.
For some reason, Tallahassee do not fuck with me when it comes to these shows. No, y'all do. But the officials and shit, Look at that. Look at that. I don't know why they do this. But I can tell you, this is why nobody fucks with Tallahassee. Because they do this shit to people that Tallahassee really give a shit about. All I'm trying to do is, talk about it, nigga. Talk about it, my nigga. All I do, look. All I do every day of my life is show Tallahassee love. And then when I come home, this is the shit I get. So this is why I ain't been back in so long, because I knew this shit was gonna happen. You see what I'm saying? Like this is what but hey, shout out to all these fuck niggas that been trying to beat me for a long time.
Yeah.
Let me tell you something, no. Straight up, shout out to Thr33 for that goddamn Jeffrey, boy. That goddamn Jeffrey going goddamn off, boy. Let me tell you something. You niggas ain't never seen nothing like me before, boy. I been on this shit. Holla at your boy, man. We doing something big out there. Goddamn. Let me tell you something. Hey, look. I'm on top of the world, bitch. That's what we doing out here. Holla at your boy. Hey, Young Cash, holla at your boy. Lion Life. You know what I'm saying?
So this is where he's kind of talking about it.
Before, that it's hard for you to go back home sometimes before. Do you feel like Tallahassee doesn't support you like they should?
I don't think they feel like they need to.
What do you mean?
I don't think, like, if I was still staying in Tallahassee and I saw another artist come back, I'm like, he's fine. I don't need to go to that show. Like, or I don't really need to stay here, like, the whole time. I do like your songs, but I do also know you. Like, you know what I'm saying? So it's like when you come up with your homeboy and you ask your homeboy for $50 in the club, he's like, why? What? You have money, though. What? Mm-hmm. So I think it's that kind of mentality. Or maybe it's just me focusing on the negative and only. You know what I'm saying? It could be that, and there are people that still think positive of me and things of that nature. But I know, every time anybody come back to me with news from Tallahassee, it's always something about this dude that used to work with me, or this dude that used to be around me, and now he's not around you anymore. He's mad that you left, even though y'all whole plan was to leave. Every time we said when we get money, we're gonna leave. We're gonna take our mama out of here. We're gonna do something better. But I guess people don't follow their own advice, and they get mad at me for going through with the plan that we both set up.
Yeah, I saw you do a show there. I don't remember how long ago it was, and you was like, "I'm never coming back here ever again."
Yeah, because first what happened was Fantasia was on the show, but they had her going after. They had her closing the show, and I'm like, well,
he's like, I'm from here, guys.
Right. I mean, it's like my hometown. Obviously, I want to go last, but then they didn't change the times. So they still let her go on when she was supposed to go on, and they put me on after, but they didn't tell me that at curfew right after she got off stage. So right in the middle of my set, they cut lights, they cut mic, they cut everything. So I was just like, this is my hometown. I can't,
that's fucked up.
They told me I couldn't have a band, and she had like a 10-piece joint. Like, it was just weird, and I felt like I wasn't valued in a place that I value so much that it's in my name. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's Tallahassee Pain. Like, I put it in my name. I got the city tatted on me, and we let outsiders come in so much. And, if New York like it, then Tallahassee love it. If Miami like it, Tallahassee love it. We've never been that city that's like, we setting the whole thing up. We setting Florida up. We setting our thing up. I mean, I feel like we could be and we should be. I mean, it's capital city. Like, so I got more love for Tallahassee than any other place on this world, but it's just the circumstances when I do go. Mm-hmm. I don't feel it back.
That is
so he's talking about the city, not the people.
Because like I was saying about the gatekeepers in your so-called cities become veterans, right? Yeah, so it might be a promoter or a stagehand, so they set up these events, and then I've seen it even in locally where, like the weekly always promotes acts that never really put in work. Not every time, but the majority of some of the people that they put for the Orlando's Best, they'll throw artists on there that's like, who put this artist on there? Like, they're not in the city really, paving a way. Or, okay, you got like 10 people to vote for you to get on the list, but like, so what? Like, what are you really doing for the city? I remember doing events like we did Smashington, which was a music and art festival all of our friends used to throw. It was a really fun event. And I remember we did it down in Orlando on Mills Ave. And we had most all the clubs there, part of it. We had a stage. In each club, you know, it was a few thousand people that came out throughout the day. And I noticed the next year when we went to go do it, all the money we brought to the city, there was all these people, no acts of violence, nothing negative happened. So you would think that all these clubs would be engaged to have you back the next year. No, it's like a hurdle, or what day do you want, blah, 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 blah. You know, and not even to me, that was just a personal experience. There's this artist in the city, and I don't want to throw names out, but she is such a beautiful singer. And I've seen her be taken advantage of, not get paid, just like a simple shout out. Like, this is our royalty. These are people that give our city culture.
So you said you're talking about like the people who own the venues, or
people that own the venues, the promoters. You know, it's so easy to become a promoter in a small town. You just go in, you talk to the club owner. Oh yeah, we'll give you a Tuesday, and it's like, no,
people or whatever.
You can't just give. I remember my first booking event was at Club 57 downtown Orlando. I think what we had going was the most consistent thing that club ever had. But the owner was so focused on money that he would let other hip-hop promoters, and I would do like a variety show that had, taste of hip-hop, rock, a little bit of everything. And I just felt like, why are you trying to oversaturate our club? If this is working, why not back what we're doing and make it bigger instead of allowing random club promoters? I get if you're going to let a real established promoter come in and bring people to the venue. I can't argue with that. That person has an established crowd. But just some random, and half these people are like, the other people that would do like hip hop nights, they're like just random hustlers that made a little bit of money in the drug game, and now they want to launder their money in the club. They don't care who shows up. I'm providing real culture here, like real. I'm dealing with the artist on a face ground level, and we're building up. And it was just always friction, man. It was, if it wasn't, and it's never really the people. It's the artist and the faculty. The people behind the scenes, either the club owners, the promoters, the news outlets and media outlets. I remember I talked to this one reporter, and like she was all down to like follow us while we were building Votelando. And Votelando was a music and art festival, but it also included a voting kind of environment where like you would come to the event, have jam out, and then you would go out and vote. So this is something that we all got together. And I remember the guy at not just the media, but right after the media was done, they didn't want to deal with the artists anymore and maybe put on some artists because it wasn't relative to whatever they were trying to promote. And even the guy that owned that venue, because we had a little more Democrats being represented as far as speakers, and he was a Republican, he was like, nah, y'all, and he gave us a hard time. So all I'm just saying is that, like, being a musician and being an artist is one of the hardest things, and if you can prove to the city that you have a crowd and people are coming to respect you, you got to back these people. You know what I mean? And you
Why
can't
do you think they don't want to sometimes?
I would say a lot of, within the promoters, there's just a lot of competitive stuff. We share a lot of the same artists, so they're doing their thing. They don't want to see you maybe be successful. Within the artists, it's the same thing. It's a crabs in the bucket mentality of like, if I get on, then it's all about me and blah, 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 blah. Instead of working together, you know what I mean? Working together always gets you farther. But artists just focus on themselves, you know what I mean? Venues, sometimes it's the management. They switch management over too much. I don't really know too much on venues. A lot of the times maybe local arts doesn't bring as much alcohol revenue that maybe a headliner from a bigger city would bring. I get you catering to those people, but what you're not seeing is the consistency. Those artists only come once or twice a year. We're here all the time. That makes up for about the same. It takes us maybe 4 or 5 events to get to the same amount that a big artist would produce as far as alcohol, revenue, ticket sales, all these things. But we're still producing.
Right.
And if you added a little support,
might even be more.
It will be more because we've proven that.
Yeah.
And then you prove it, And they still, you know, how do you tell T-Pain, don't bring your band, you're the local hero, but it's okay for Fantasia, American Idol.
She's an American Idol.
Let her bring her, and we're not going to change her time. No, like, you should be catering to this guy. This guy's proved it already, especially T-Pain. Who the fuck am I? Some local artist, whatever. But this guy, T-Pain, and that's what I'm saying. You see it on a small level, and it's crazy to see it on a big level.
Yeah.
And it's not every city, but a lot of these Florida cities are like that, man. And that's why we don't really get... Miami's a beautiful thing. Maybe it's because they're so open-minded down there. They don't mind supporting their own and putting them on a pedestal and being like, you know what, even though you're local, I see you as a successful artist. Because the underground music scene in Miami right now is crazy. And arguably, it's always been that way.
Right.
It's always produced artists, you know. But the rest of Florida is definitely behind, I would say.
Yeah.
And that's just from my experience on the ground level, small little local artists, you know?
Obi Trice said it best when he was down here. He was rapping. And he was like, yo, stop the music. Hey, there's a bunch of cool motherfuckers in here tonight. Because everybody's just like this.
Yeah.
Instead of, at least one of these, you know? It don't got to be much. You don't got to go put your hands up every time they put their hands up. You don't got to put your hands down. You don't got to jump.
Why are you at a show?
You should have a good time, but have your good time. Don't just have your blank stare of death when it's just like, I'm better than this motherfucker type shit.
Why'd you come? Stay home, bro.
So he could perform and say he rocked the set. I'm going, remember, I have no idea what their name was, but they came late to 57 West. And I remember I was standing outside, and they come fucking walking up. It was like 2 dudes, like 2 girls, maybe a little more people. He goes, go ahead and just rock this motherfucker real quick. Goes in there, and it's just, 57 West, just people sitting there, just chilling, just listening to music, having a good time. He's just like rapping all hard, and he's on the table, and he's just like, it's motherfucking my city, blah, 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 blah. And it's just threw the shit in the air, and then... I don't know if it was you. No. Anyway, somebody. I don't think you were there. That's somebody got jumped or something like that. And he started freaking out. And then you had to walk down there and like calm him down because I can't have you doing all of this stuff you was doing. Do you remember that?
There's a lot of those.
Yeah.
There was a lot of those moments.
Bro, you're not...
Is it when they were rapping, they had the money and they burnt the money and got... I
don't know if they burned money.
I remember my...
You had to walk him down because... And then we were kind of like walking toward you because it was like animated. And it was just kind of like, are we going to have to fight now again? One more time? Because these fucking guys is thinking they're so much the shit. They don't even need to come.
I remember there was a show that we threw, and my little cousin Trees was burning some money on stage because that was part of their whole staging, because they were like conscious anti-government rappers, him and Bags, and they would always burn $1 to kind of represent, money not being important. And this other rapper that was in that same backpack mentality, made the same type of music, used to do the same thing or did the same thing and took it personal because they thought that Trees was taking his style. And then that kind of elevated into a situation and almost
he's the only guy burning money.
And that's the ego in artists. I remember there was this other artist that he was a good friend of ours that did videos for him. I mean, like, I always try to help this guy out. And we finally made it to a bigger club with bigger stage, bigger people, gave him a better slot because I seen him building. And then somebody tripped over the wire in his set, and the power got killed for a second. And this guy sweared that we were trying to sabotage his set. And I was like, yo, why would I sabotage your set? Like, what would I get out of that? Like, ruining the show for everybody? Like, making it awkward for you so that we can...
But all you had to do is turn it back on and keep going, right?
Right, but artists get caught up in their ego. And maybe this is the flip side. Like he said, maybe it's just I see the negative stuff. Sometimes, you're embraced with so much positivity that the negative becomes a unique factor in some ways. It becomes the odd thing, and you focus on that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man. It just depends on what you want to see a lot of times.
Yeah, that's very true. That's very true. On a positive note, do you remember when T-Pain had a big ass chain?
Yeah,
When it
the
comes to a
chain that
rapper's
said
chain,
big
it
ass
seems
chain
that
on it,
bigger
right?
is better. Well, T-Pain outdid everyone else when he bought himself
He said he
a
got that melted
10-pound
down.
massive chain that spelled out big ass chain with nearly 200 carats worth of diamonds on it.
It cost him $400,000.
Big monies. Big monies for my big ass chain.
He did melt it down to make a whole bunch of bottles.
Right, the bottles, right?
Yeah. But this was a
looks
moment
just
in
as
hip hop.
ridiculous, by the way. Well, almost as ridiculous, by the way, because that's so crazy. I do like the font though, and I like the spacing. It's good.
Good symmetry.
Yeah, man.
These are things that T-Pain did in his career. Besides dropping massive hits, he had a big ass chain.
Several people through college, I would guess. Several young ladies got their tuition, rent
paid,
baby expense paid
by T-Pain.
T-Pain got the big ass chain that he lost and found, and got melted it down and get the bottles. Got his hair cut, got it sewn back in. Made a bunch of cool videos. Uses the auto tune.
He let Ace Hood and Future borrow his Bugatti, and I woke up in the Bugatti.
Oh, it's his Bugatti?
It's his Bugatti. So there was this part that I'm just going to explain. I'm not going to play because it's a stupid other beef. But I guess, when we were talking about T-Pain fell off, they say that Future came in and kind of stole his lane as the hook auto-tune guy. And T-Pain really never felt, he never felt like that was the same thing. He didn't feel like Future was doing the same thing, but a lot of people kind of pin them up.
More drugs and gangster shit than
right, instead of like pop stuff. That's exactly what T-Pain said. Yeah. And but I guess
he did like kind of take over the hits on the radio element of it,
and using autotune, having a unique voice. So that's why people associated that with him taking his lane. But the truth was that T-Pain was a fan, and I guess T-Pain was at a strip club, and he met Future's brother, and he was like, oh, you know what, tell Future I'm down to do a track with him. Future's brother was like, nah, he would never do a track with you. And there was like some beef, I guess, going on competitive wise. But then fast forward, guess who needed a Bugatti for the video? And the only person that owned a Bugatti at the time was T-Pain, because he had enough money to buy the Bugatti. So Khaled asked, because it was a Khaled Ace Hood track.
Damn, that's whack.
So the whole time Future was like in there, he was with T-Pain's car. Yeah. So even
I don't like that at all.
That's how much power T-Pain has in the game. Like, oh yeah, you don't like me, but you're gonna need me.
Yo, yeah, man, you mad, emotional, I guess, and kind of like sensitive folk and insecure.
I think he deserves it a little bit.
Deserves what?
To have that. I mean, he's an artist, so he has to. I like the fact that he wears his emotions on his sleeve. He's not afraid to.
No, I'm talking about Future.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, for sure. But you could also kind of say that for T-Pain in some respects. But
yeah, but he seems to be so like. Not all the way, but like down to earth about it, like regular, just like nah. Like even the I like the way Jay-Z answered it, because it was like a good answer, but I would answer it the way T-Pain answered.
It's genuine.
You know what I mean? Because Jay-Z don't like saying fuck Jay. Like, he doesn't like that, but he says, I hope he had a good time. But in his brain, it's like, fuck that dude.
Yeah, that's exactly what he was saying behind the saying.
Right. And then, but T-Pain's just like, that shit pissed me off. So I wrote, you know what I mean? Like, I respect that more, but I still like the way he said it. Like, oh, that's funny. It's clever.
Do you think that's why he gets so much hate, is that he's so genuine and people can't take?
People hate just the blunt truth. Charlemagne's, they don't like that shit. You got to say stuff in a way to make people feel comfortable so that you can navigate this ever evolving, political correct, don't offend, everybody's right, wrong world that we live in. So if you want to be the guy who gets along with everybody and can move in the circles that Jay-Z moves in, then you got to say stuff a certain way.
That makes it kind of fake, though.
It is, again, if you want to move in a world where you can be a billionaire, or you can, I'll take it lower. If I wanted to be a manager where I work, then I have to check the way I say things, how I approach people. I'm not like a super rude person, but if it's trash, then it's trash. If I don't like it, then I don't like it. But if I'm a manager, then the good thing about this is this, and what I'd like to see is something here done.
So T-Pain is more like Dame Dash to his Jay-Z, because that's why people hate it about Dame Dash. It's because he's so blunt.
Yeah,
it's because he has cookies. It's because
and the dude isn't always right.
Said, fuck a boss.
He's so like
you're a worker,
aggressively confident in his answers, and he's not always right in his statements, and he's not always right. You know, that's what also, you can't be that type of asshole and just be wrong sometimes. I mean, you can, obviously everybody can be wrong, but I'm saying because Jay-Z uses that tact, then when he's wrong, it's like, oh, well, you know, blah, blah, blah.
Right.
But when you're a truthful, unapologetically brash individual, don't be wrong.
Don't be wrong.
Don't be wrong, bro.
Yeah.
Or you're going to get T-Pained. They're going to be like, oh, he fell off.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But
so
he has not fallen off. He's a fucking legend.
It's the truth.
Legend.
Well, thank you for tuning in to the Fresh Produce Podcast.
Oh, yeah.
We appreciate your time.
Oh, yeah.
It's Fresh Produce, Florida Media at gmail.com.
And I'm Thompson.
I'm Fredo Peach. One love, y'all.
It's awesome.